So in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can create your own artificial intelligence radiology reporting tool in less than 3 hours for less than $30. So let's dive right in.
Is mildly degenerated. There is a large joint diffusion, the quadriceps tendon. Okay guys, before we jump into the actual program, we have to do two things. First of all, I want to show you here the prices of similar tools. They can range from anywhere between like, I don't know, like $50, $100 to up to $300 a month or even more, depending on, country and so on. And I've done a similar program in the past, Scribe, which works well. I use it every day. It's not the perfect solution. It was just a quick hobby over summer. And I will try today now to make use of what I've learned in the past over the last couple of weeks and months in terms of vibe coding and these kind of like AI tools. And you can just follow along by watching this video and you can actually create this tool by yourself. And before we actually go into the coding, we need to first have a plan. And I was investigating this a little bit. So here's the plan, what we want to do. So we want to have a voice, our voice recording. So that's the first thing we need to do. Let me just memorize this. So that's the first we want to do. We record the voice and we will use OpenAI Whisper for this, but we will apply Groq on it. So Groq is a special platform which still uses Whisper, but it's going to be much faster. And hopefully we can do chunking, which means we can fake real-time stream our dictate. Because in the past, when I did my final scribe here, when you record, you can't see what you're actually saying. Only the full file then gets transcribed after like 4 minutes when you went through the case, and then you will get the transcript back. So I try now to optimize this so that we can actually see what we speak, similar like Dragon Medical one, as you know it. So that's the first thing. We will get a voice recording. Then the second layer will be a ChatGPT transcript correction, where we fix all the voice recognition errors using a ChatGPT prompt via OpenAI API. Then we have a corrected transcript, and this corrected transcript, then we have a corrected transcript, then analyzed via JSON. That's basically formatting it into machine code. And then we can either populate templates or generate reports from scratch using OpenAI ChatGPT again. So this is basically our stack here. This is what we do. And for OpenAI Whisper, there is, I think, is version 3 large, but we will see which one we are using. And for the ChatGPT, we will ask Replit which model we will use. We will, the tools we need, we will build this on Replit. This is an AI coding program, we will see. And we will use different APIs, which are also great. And yeah, so that's really our stack. So let's go to our program here, Replit, and this is where we now, say what we want to build. So we start by telling Replit what we actually want to achieve.
So I hope you like it so far. Make sure you really hit this subscribe button and also the like button. That helps me out in the long run. Thank you very much.
Okay, so now here we are in Replit's interface. So here we just describe what we want to do. I would start out with planning, is better. And then we just delete these silly footnotes. We don't need that. And then we go here, make sure to not code any prompts as hard-coded prompts. Make sure we can edit all prompts in admin panel. Okay, so this is now the start. We can technically refine this with this one here. So let's do that. This will now use also some LLM to improve our prompt that we got from Gemini already. So let's see. Yes, tree pipeline transition, region identification, template matching, and structured mapping to generate Telegram style radiology reports. It should also feature auto impressions, ideally with a separate prompt. Okay, so because we want to have auto impressions, then we are core features. So everything here you can read visual references. So it uses keep the design. I don't want to copy them, so I don't like it. So we want to have keep design and user interface super lean and modern. Use a dark gray mode as in modern radiology apps. But I think this is enough for us to get started. So let's see what it does. And I will pause the video because this now will take a little bit of time. So it will now assess this prompt. It plans out everything that we need to know. So it's now checking for the necessary integrations for Groq, which we will be using for the OpenAI Whisper API and OpenAI APIs. So now here is an important new thing. If you don't have an OpenAI account yourself, you can just click approve. You don't even need to have your own API key. This will be completely done by Replit. I don't want to do that because you kind of like lose full control over the cost and everything. So I'm going to dismiss. You can just do this. It's going to be probably easier for you. So it's now giving us the plan: integration, database, Replit manage. Now we will have our own key based template management template. So this, I think this is sounding good. So let's start building it. I assume it will ask us for the keys when it's ready. So you can see this now. It's going to take a while. And go here to OpenAI platform.com. You can then here go to API keys, create a new key. I'm not going to show you this now here, but this is where you can do that. So this can now take a little bit of time. I'm going to here to the settings. I have the agent as autonomous, high. However, I'm going to disable app testing because I haven't had good experiences with this. It just hangs up. It doesn't really know how to test things. So we just do this, but I leave it at high. This is good. Later we can go down to maybe medium, but for our purposes now, high is going to be the best thing. So what we can do in the meantime is actually going to groq.com because we need an account. We can start building. Go API keys. I'm already logged in. So here we will have to create an API key. I'll show you this later, but this, if you have time, you can already make the account in the meantime. It's now asking for the OpenAI key. I'm going to do this now, create API key. Let's do final Scribe 2.0, no expiration. So very important, don't share the key with other people because they can use your stuff. So that's why it's blurred out. But I have now this key and we put this here in Replit into a secret. So secrets mean it's stored safely in your Replit account and nobody can use it. And it's not in the code. So like if somebody hacks you in the code, they can't see it. Sometimes if people do the vibe coding and they give the keys to the chat, then it might actually reveal the keys. So you have to be a little bit careful here. So I gave it now the key and it's now saved to the platform. And let's see what's next. Okay, guys, so we have now like a first view of how this will look like. And we can see the progress here, 1 of 3 tasks: setup, data, theme, and views, backend services, data flow, connect, polish, and test everything. So I want to tell it, make sure we use. I'm going to get the proper term. Because of the chunking, we use chunking for audio transcription, showing the near real-time transcripts below the record button. I'm just putting this into the queue. I don't want to interrupt it now because it might totally mess up things, but we can definitely change this. I'm not sure if it got it. Maybe that was a mistake. I'm just going to pause here again. Okay, so time to check in here. It's still working. We can see we now have some templates that the AI generated by itself. They are all visible here in the admin center, where we can look what it did, sections. So we got different sections. This sounds rather exhaustive. Shoulder MRI with a complete full thickness tear of supraspinatus tendon with retraction of 2 centimeter. AC joint shows osteoarthritis. I just want to show if there is now anything actually transcribing, which means the API would be working. Okay. Okay, so this was working. So now that's good. So this is now the app would be ready to share. We don't want to publish now. We first want to finish this. And now I told it to make sure we can actually see what we are transcribing in real time or near real time. That should be the goal now. So let's see if this is working. Yeah, now you can see the app records everything, then sends the full audio for transcription after stopping. I need to implement a chunked real-time transcription that shows text appearing below the record button while recording. Add backend to transcribe individual audio chunks on the front-end segment, recording every 5 seconds and display. Well, I'm not sure if this is a good idea, 5 seconds. I think we should be able to. So I'm gonna go now and ask Gemini for help. We don't want to discuss everything with agent because every prompt costs money. For the chunking, Replit Agent is now using 5-second intervals. Can we handle this more dynamic based on silence or sentences? Any suggestions for the best result? So I'm just going to ask what Gemini thinks, and then we see. Now it's entering in German. Okay, so I just gave the agent the proper instructions from Gemini. This was for another homepage that I'm building right parallel here in between. Let me just post this here. Okay, looks like we're back up. The VAD-based dynamic chunking is now in place. So instead of every 5 seconds, the system monitors your microphone input in real time using Web Audio API. It detects natural speech pauses when you're silent or for about 600 milliseconds. It automatically sends that segment. A visual audio level meter shows whether the mic is picking up. Minimal chunk size of 800 milliseconds prevents tiny fragments. Okay, so I'm excited to see how this works. How much did that cost? $1.60. So let's see. Clinical information: fall from a horse, period, new line. The ACL is torn, period, MCL torn, period, large joint effusion, period, typical bone contusions in the posterolateral corner, in the lateral femoral condyle and posterolateral tibia plateau, period. So it doesn't recognize the comma, periods, etc. I think we have to think about how we handle dictation. How does Whisper Groq handles punctuation, like currently it is writing it. Will the corrected transcript fix it, or at which step? Oh, and one thing I forgot is we need to give the whisper prompt with it. Okay, that's good. So we have OpenAI set up correctly. I want to say to add a whisper prompt with each chunk. I think we can do it via API and tell the API that we are doing radiology. Here my suggestion for the whisper prompt: make it editable in the admin portal. So let's build this out as well. So what is a whisper prompt? A whisper prompt is basically when we send the audio file to the Whisper OpenAI API. The audio file has a little bit of context. So if we tell the AI, this is the radiology, it's more likely to understand the words and puts the stuff it hears more into context. So I hopefully will see an improved detection. So let's see. Here's my plan. So let's go to the admin center. We have now the AI prompts: whisper, transcription prompt, auto impression, structured mapping, and region identification. So we got a couple of prompts here already. That's good. So let's see. Yeah, so this is done. Okay, so it costed us 80 cents to actually implement. So let's try. Patient fell from a horse. The question is meniscal tear. I can see a complex tear of the medial meniscus with meniscocapsular separation, bone bruise in the posterior corner of the medial tibial plateau, period. The MCL is partially torn at the femoral attachment, ACL completely torn, lateral meniscus intact, large joint effusion. Typical bone contusions after a pivot shift injury, period. Okay, so this looks pretty good. I like the speed, how it's coming. It's much better in recognizing what we are trying to say. It's amazing. I'm actually quite happy. And so we now have the raw transcript. So what should happen next with the raw transcript is basically, it's not, the process is not correct yet. We can see an impression, but this is obviously rubbish. It's using a hip template. So we tried, I reported a knee. I am happy with voice recognition, but currently the raw transcript is not yet fixed with ChatGPT, and the region selection for template selection and JSON stuff is not yet working. First, we need to use ChatGPT to fix and clean up the raw transcript, like period shift injury. Injury should be pivot shift injury. And we have at the end stuff I didn't say. Once it's corrected, show the corrected transcript below the raw transcript. I want the raw transcript still there. I want to see the new one down below, or later we can remove the raw transcript completely and just see the fixed one below the raw transcript. Then transcript. So we can also do now, we go to ChatGPT and we ask it, I ask it a little bit here already. So we can, I need you to create a master prompt for fixing the raw transcript from whisper using Groq into public medical and radiology terminology, fixing words that are obviously not correct in the context, but make sure not to event stuff. So that's it, and then we want to if you identify punctuation or formatting comments. Now then, this word might have written them out occasionally, but like a first draft. This will be the difficult bit, will be to get the prompts right? So we just want to have here this prompt, and I'm using ChatGPT to get the prompt because we are using ChatGPT also in the actual software, although we could also use anything else. So this is basically the system prompt. Here, your medical transcript normalization engine for radiology, prompt section. Okay, and then paste it. And so hopefully this works. Now it shows it to the architect for review, so we can maybe try. Okay, knee distortion 2 days ago, persistent pain, query ACL tear. I can see a complete tear of MCL. ACL is partially torn. Complex medial meniscal tear at the body and posterior horn. The posterior root of the medial meniscus is completely torn. Large joint effusion. Deep focal cartilage defect of 9 by 9 centimeters. Oh no, millimeters. And the retropatellar cartilage. And this is the exact same. Oh yeah, no, it fixed something. So you can see I was saying, oh no, millimeters, not centimeters. It fixed this. So it's actually fixing stuff. Completely torn, large bone contusion. This should be like not a bone contusion, but a joint effusion. Add voice editing to the corrected transcript. Okay, so I forgot to unrecord or record again. So what I did now, I was entering my template, as I will show you. So here, this is now my template, and I did section by section, medial, lateral, intercondylar, and patellofemoral with the normal section. I actually wanted the clinical information higher up. So we can say I can't move the sections in the template. Okay, so now this is sorted as well. Let's try. Let's stick with the knee. Chronic knee pain since 1 year. I can see like deep focal cartilage defects on the medial femoral condyle and in the lateral tibial plateau with extensive subcondylar bone marrow edema. There is a subcondylar insufficiency fracture in the medial femoral condyle. The posterior root of the medial meniscus is completely torn with severe extrusion of the medial meniscus medially. Mucoid ACL degeneration, large joint effusion. Lateral compartment is quite okay, and the extensor tendons are fine. Thank you. So it's quite nice. Lethal compartment. Okay. Now let's see if this is actually. So it's now identifying it's a knee. It's correcting this. So 1 year deep focal cartilage defects on the medial femoral condyle and in the lateral tibial plateau, which it corrected correctly. With extensive subcondylar bone marrow edema, there is subcondylar insufficiency fracture. In the medial femoral condyle, posterior root of the medial meniscus completely torn with severe extrusion of the medial meniscus medially. Look at a large joint effusion. That's good. The lateral compartment is quite normal and the extensor tendons are fine. Thank you. I don't know why the thank you is still there. Anyways, so while it gives an impression, that's good, but it doesn't really apply now the JSON stuff. Okay, template selection works. AI correction of transcript works. Okay. We should be able to change the meniscal tear into a ramp lesion of the medial meniscus posterior horn. So ramp lesion, not posterior form, it's a horn. That's nice. Okay. Okay, love it. Remove thank you. It's ridiculous. Why should there be thank you? Okay. So, okay, template selection, AI correction of transcript works okay. but the JSON flow doesn't work. It doesn't populate my fields. So if this helps. So welcome back. Basically, I've been playing around like 10 minutes trying to get the prompts in order. And yes, just reading prompts. So basically the template population is not properly working. And I think this will need some time and fine-tuning over time. That's why we have the prompts in the admin center. So let me just add my new prompt here for the structured mapping. So I'm just updating this. Now let's try. It's going to be knee heavy, but technically you can also have a prompt for each joint. But I try to keep it simple. So let's see. Patient has chronic knee pain. I can see a mucoid ACL degeneration. PCL is mildly degenerated. There is a large joint diffusion. The quadriceps tendon shows tendinosis. Patellar tendon with a small focal partial tear at the patellar origin. Off-of-head pad shows scars after a previous arthroscopy. The medial meniscus is degenerated and the posterior root completely torn. MCL sprained. The biceps tendon at its insertion at the fibular head is partially torn. And I can see a small mass in the vastus medialis muscle of 2 centimeters. So I was just adding a few things to make it harder. This is now bad. Like, I think it struggles if it's not a proper fluent dictation. Large joint diffusion, quadriceps shows tendinosis, patellar tendon with small focal partial tear, half-fat shows scars after previous arthroscopy, meniscus tear. Sprain, biceps tendon fibular head, partially torn. I can see a small mass in the vastus medialis. Okay, that's actually good. So I just said I remove thank you. Then, so what we want to do, like now it needs to be look a little bit more better. Now hide the raw transcript from user in the front end. Add a big copy report button in red to the top. So I think it worked. It should now have a better overview. Single merge text area. Yeah, let's see. So far we've used $23 to build this. Let's see how it goes. Knee pain, ACL is torn, MCL is torn, and the medial meniscus shows a horizontal tear. So let's see. Okay, so we're finishing up here. I think it's now ready. The last thing I want to make sure is actually working if I'm not reporting a knee MRI. And I changed also the report box is now just one text. And we made the transcript editable and auto-refresh the report. So let's see if this works. First with a knee. Chronic knee pain on the left side after a fall 2 months ago. Horizontal tear of medial meniscus. Small radial tear, posterior horn of lateral meniscus. Joint capsular irritation. moderate joint diffusion with mild synovitis. Tendinosis of patellar tendon. Small ganglion cyst in Hoffa's fat pad. Okay, so it's now correcting. We will not see the raw transcript. It automatically gets corrected. And this is the transcript. We should make this bigger. Okay, so this has not been updated. Now let's try remapping the report. We want to see the ganglion cyst now coming up here. So the issue is the prompt is not good enough yet. So I think, if you guys are good with prompting, you will maybe get the better solution than me. But I'm going to change now the prompt. Okay, so I think we're nearly there. So I was just doing some updates. I figured it's easier to have just one page. That's why the dictation button is now here on the same page. The selector here is there. Eventually, the idea would be to remove it or have the template selection only being applied after the transcript has been corrected. No, but this is something I don't need to figure out, to be honest. And let's see what else. It's now generating complete reports even if there is no template. So that was an important addition. Otherwise, it's not flexible enough. Chronic hip pain, anterosuperior labral tear with paralabral ganglion cyst, fraying of superior labrum, subchondral bone meridema in the acetabulum, cam deformity with an alpha angle of 60 degrees. Okay, so it looks like I was just not speaking loud enough. Nice. Chest pain, heart size normal, moderate bilateral pleural effusions, 5 centimeter mass in the upper lobe on the right side, consistent with a lung cancer. Okay, I think that's good enough. So it took us roughly $30 to do and 3 hours.
As you can see, this really works amazing, and you can have the exact same tool yourself. Go down below, you find a link to Replit. You can use my referral link, sign up with an account. Then you can basically just download the whole thing straight into Replit and can start from where I left it. You can customize it to your own needs. You can set up accounts for different users in your practice and take it from there. And there's no need to pay any, high monthly fees to any of these companies as long as it works for your purposes. Now, of course, an enterprise solution will be a little bit more fleshed out, but if you are on a low budget for a teleradiology company or you want to integrate this into your own software, this is the way to go. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.